Well, we could have music.
Yeah.
We have the orchestra.
That's right. We can have an orchestra here.
Let's just sit here and talk.
Okay.
That's what.
I feel awful about putting you through this whole thing because I know it violates your principles in some sense, and I feel guilty about that.
Which principle?
Well, I guess the principle of not making a ludicrous spectacle of yourself in public.
Oh my God!
And,
Pardon me.
I hope you're not planning to do anything like that.
Is that what you're looking forward to?
That's what I kind of hope.
That's what you're liable to get.
Anyway, then I would
well,
apologize.
my only experience in this theater, I made a ludicrous spectacle of myself. I played about 40-odd years ago through this theater. Not in this theater. They wouldn't even take me in this theater. I had to fly out to Minneapolis to join a company of the Night Hostess, which was being produced by John Golden and Winchell Smith. And Winchell Smith lived in Farmington, Connecticut. Yeah. And I'd been fired out of the only job I had been offered, and he gave me a walk-on as a hostess in a thing called Night Hostess.
The title
and
sounds...
I gave the worst performance that has ever been seen, because I was supposed to be a wicked fascinator, and I wasn't very wicked, and I hadn't learned how to be a fascinator. I never did learn how to be that kind of a fascinator.
The title sounds very racy. Was it really a play that would raise eyebrows?
Well, it was
today?
Phil Dunning and Winchell Smith. Yes, it was calculated to raise the eyebrows, and I don't think it raised them enough. So it sat down. I don't think it ever came to New York. I got a better job, and I flew back in from Minneapolis, deciding that I wasn't going to succeed that way.
You said you were fired, though. I can't imagine anybody having the nerve.
No. I was fired from another thing.
Yeah, but why?
I was fired because I wasn't very good.
Oh, is that the only reason?
Yes, well, that's usually the reason you're fired. Yeah. I found out. I used to think it would be nice to know why you were fired. And somebody told me once, and I've decided it's much better to feel that you were put upon when you were fired.
Is that what you tell yourself in order to keep going?
No, that's what I always told myself. Well, I told myself the same thing a few months ago when I was fired, but I've been constantly fired.
And you've been on this very stage.
So I would appreciate it if you'd fire me now and I'd go home and never come back.
Maybe I can arrange something. Well, if you make a...
No, I had a very funny experience, actually. I came here to this particular theater from playing the leading part in a thing called The Big Pond. Do you want to hear the story of my life? I presume that's why I'm here.
Sure, as long as I'm here.
The story of my life. So I went out to Great Neck to play in the Big Pond, and I had started out as an understudy, and I was always a pretty good flash actor. I could read a part without knowing what I was doing better than anyone in the whole world. I mean, I could laugh and cry, and I could always get the part.
First time?
First time. Never could keep it. They got on to me after a while.
I understand
lose my
that.
voice, fall down, get red in the face, talk too fast, and couldn't act when they were all sitting out there. Just petrified me.
I understand that. You know that I acted
and
a little
then I
bit.
love these terrible situations, you see, that I'm in now. Wondering how I'm going to escape. It's the sort of criminal instinct or something.
Yeah, it's a challenge for you, I know.
It's a challenge.
I would bet that you've had a bad dream about how this would go in the last couple of nights.
No, I've had a bad dream my whole life about everything and how everything would go. And it's turned out to be a bad dream.
And this is only part of it.
This is the end.
Can you remember your dressing room in this theater? And did they have this carpet and these walls?
You mean, can I remember your dressing room in this theater? Because that's what I've just come out of.
I was hoping you weren't going to mention that.
Well, my dressing room in this theater, I had a dressing room. No, I never had any dressing room in this theater because I never played in it. But I had a dressing room with a man named Alfred De Leagro, who became a very well-known producer. Right. And he and I shared a bathroom. We had no bathroom. Shared a dressing room at the Maxine Elliott Theater, which was, I think, on 38th or 9th Street, 41st Street, now torn down. Wonderful theater, and we were up on the 5th floor together. And I was on when he was off, and vice versa. So we had a great time.
And did you also share an apartment?
No, we didn't. We
Yeah,
didn't
that would
share.
work,
No, that would have looked badly in those days. But this was accepted. And
Well, I didn't mean
I was
him.
fired out of that show. Well, what did you mean?
I meant ever. I mean, sometimes people...
With anyone?
Well, you
Yes,
suggested...
I've shared apartments with people.
I wasn't probing. I'm sorry.
I don't understand the question, Mr. Cavett.
Okay, let me
Have you ever shared an apartment? What would you mean?
Well,
what would I mean?
Well, since you said yes, I'll say yes, too.
Yes, well, we leave it with the usual sort of
Okay.
take it any way you like it.
Well,
But anyway, I played, you keep interrupting the long story of my life. If you just shut up, I'd be able to...
I won't speak again for the
you
next
never
hour.
listen. That'll be the day. Or that'll be the night. But anyway, which story do you want to hear?
Anything at all. I think the...
All right, well, now I'll tell you the story about the big pond, because this
Okay.
was very profound, and this was my start in life. I went into this show as an understudy, and I had worked 2 weeks for a man named Edwin Knopf, who's the brother of Alfred Knopf, and a very sweet and distinguished man who gave me my first job after I graduated from Bryn Mawr. And he said, write me a letter, and I will tell you whether we can use you or not. So my father said, never write, go, and appear in person. So I went down to Baltimore, and I appeared. I didn't even know there was a stage door in a theater. And I went in, and I sat down, and I watched a rehearsal. It was a very distinguished company. Mary Boland, Elliot Cavett, Kenneth McGowan, a really good company, and they were doing a thing called the Tsarina the following week. And nobody told me to leave, so I sat down in the audience, and I waited and waited and waited, and finally, 5 hours passed, and I nearly died. I got excited. I had to go to the John. It was pitch dark. I felt my way around trying to find a ladies' room. Finally did. Came back, sat down, and Eddie Knopf was always sitting right up in the front of the audience watching this dress rehearsal, and finally just walked by me and said, report for rehearsal Monday.
And that's how you got
That's
it?
how I got my job.
Is that the... So
I
that-
didn't say how much or anything. So I got my job and was given a nice little part in the Tsarina. Went for the costume thing at the end of the week.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, come at 10 to pick your costume. So I got there at 10:15. I thought, boy, I'm being smart. All the girls were there. All the good clothes were gone. And it was, sort of bouffant skirts.
Yeah.
And I was a lady in mating. Pardon me. See, I'm a bit nervous.
Do you believe
a
in...
lady,
you
a
believe
lady
in...
in waiting. Do I believe in? You couldn't keep quiet. I know.
No, I know. I was going to...
You just had to
I was going to ask
interfere.
you believed in Freudian slips when you said that, but go, carry on.
Yes, I do.
You were a lady in
believe
waiting and...
Freudian slips. Well, there was no Freudian slip for me that wasn't this short. So, a little girl in the company came up to me and she said, Catherine, I got here at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I have the best costume. And I think you're someday going to be a big star. And I'm going to get married in 2 weeks. And I want you to take my costume, because the one you have looks silly on you. And I nearly fainted, and I looked at her, and I thought, if you have any character, you'll say, you're terribly sweet, but I can't do it. But I didn't. I said, do you mean that? She said, yes. I said, thank you very much. Let me try it on. And I took it.
Who was that woman?
I don't know.
What a great story.
Isn't that a wonderful story?
And to this day, you don't
Well,
know
to
who-
this day, see, people have been terribly sweet to me.
Yeah.
But that was really kind.
Yeah.
Because I was stuck with something that I had a long, scrawny neck then,
That's right.
still, worse now. And, I was tall and I looked like a perfect fool. And I could have tried to fix it up, but I couldn't. And I got very good notices in a small part. Then I had to play something like the Night Hostess in a thing, Torchbearers. Played a wicked woman and was a big flop. And thought, better go and learn to talk, because I would get so excited that my voice would shoot way up in the top of my head, and I wouldn't know what I could do. I could start, but I couldn't. It just went up, and I've lost total control. And with 1 ounce of encouragement from the audience, I talked so fast that nobody could understand a word I said.